Ravens-Steelers week. Always a big one. But this time it feels even bigger, with Russell Wilson now leading the Steelers' offense.
It's definitely uncharted territory.
John Harbaugh seems particularly wary of Wilson's playmaking ability.
Rightfully so. He's one of those quarterbacks who can just take over a game.
Harbaugh even singled out Wilson's deep ball as a major concern.
Yeah, his ability to extend plays and find receivers downfield is what makes him so dangerous. You can't really teach that kind of improvisation talent.
So how do the Ravens even prepare for that?
You can try to contain him, but Wilson has a knack for escaping the pocket and making something out of nothing. The Ravens will need to be incredibly disciplined.
Harbaugh also talked about the element of surprise with Wilson. You never really know where he's going with the ball.
That's a huge factor. Defenses can't just key in on one or two.
Let's talk about the Steelers supporting cast. They have some big names like Najee Harris and George Pickens.
For sure. But what makes the Steelers offense even more dangerous is the depth at receiver. Guys like Calvin Austin and Scotty Miller. They may not be household names yet, but they can make plays.
So could this be a game where Wilson connects with some of those lesser-known receivers?
Absolutely. And that's what makes game planning against him so cold.
It seems like the Ravens' defense will have their hands full. But let's not forget about Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah. He's a game changer in his own right.
It's interesting that Harbaugh downplayed the rivalry aspect, saying that every game matters.
Well, every game does matter. But a Ravens-Steelers game? Come on. It's never just another game.
This rivalry is legendary.
The intensity, the history, it's all there. This game means something extra.
And it has huge implications for the AFC North race.
Absolutely. A win here could crucial stretch.
I'm curious to see how the rivalry itself might affect the players on the field. This is Wilson's first Ravens-Steelers game.
He'll be facing a hostile crowd in Baltimore, sure.
Could that noise and hostility rattle him and force him into some mistakes?
It's possible. But on the other hand, that kind of pressure could also motivate him. We've seen him thrive in big games before.
So ultimately it comes down to execution.
Exactly. Who can handle the pressure? Who can make the big plays when they matter most?
This Ravens-Steelers matchup has all the ingredients for a classic. I can't wait to see how it unfolds.
Me neither. It should be a great game.
This game will have everyone talking. It has all the ingredients of an instant classic.
I have a feeling we'll be analyzing this one.
It's sure to be a memorable game. It's fascinating how much emphasis John Harbaugh put on the importance of every game, especially within the division.
Yeah, every game does have a significant impact on playoffs.
Absolutely. A loss to a division rival. It's like 2 losses.
Exactly. Each win and loss within the division directly affects your chances of securing a playoff spot.
Right. So how do you see this particular Ravens-Steelers matchup playing out?
It's tough to say for sure. The Steelers, with Wilson, they're still a bit of an unknown entity. True, but they have the potential to be explosive, especially if Wilson can connect with his receivers quickly.
But the Ravens' defense is always tough to deal with.
No doubt. They're known for creating turnovers.
And let's not forget Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' offense.
Oh, yeah. They can put up points in a hurry.
This game has all the makings of a classic Ravens-Steelers battle.
It's going to be a high-stakes matchup. 2 explosive offenses, 2 tough defenses.
Will Wilson be able to live up to the hype in this new environment against a tough opponent like the Ravens?
That's the big question. He's had success in Seattle, but the AFC North, it's a different beast.
And how will the Ravens adjust their defense to account for Wilson? They're used to facing pocket passers like Roethlisberger. Wilson's mobility adds a whole other dimension.
It'll be interesting to see how they approach it. Do they try to contain him with a spy? Or rely on their front 4 to generate pressure?
This game has implications beyond just the win-loss column.
Absolutely. A strong performance from the Steelers could really solidify them as and a Ravens victory could give them a lot of momentum.
We've covered a lot of ground here. Anything else that stands out to you about this matchup?
I think it's important to remember the psychological aspect of this rivalry. The Ravens and Steelers, they really don't like each other.
And that often spills over onto the field.
These games are always physical, emotionally charged.
It wouldn't be surprising to see some personal fouls or some after-the-whistle stuff.
Yeah, the intensity of the rivalry, it can sometimes lead to unexpected outcomes.
So we've covered Wilson's impact, the strategic importance of the matchup, and the psychological factors at play.
I think we've given our listener a good understanding of this Ravens-Steelers showdown.
This is a game that will have everyone talking.
For good reason. It has all the makings of an instant classic.
I have a feeling we'll be analyzing this one for weeks to come.
It's sure to be a memorable game.
It's what makes this rivalry one of the best in all of sports.
I'm excited to see how it all unfolds.
We'll be breaking down all the key moments and analyzing the impact.
It's a game that football fans won't soon forget. It's interesting to think about how this game might impact the future of the Steelers have been a dominant force in the division for years, but With Roethlisberger retiring and Wilson coming in, there's a sense of transition.
The Ravens have also been a consistent playoff contender, with Lamar Jackson at the helm. They always seem to be in the mix. This game could be a preview of the battles to come for AFC North supremacy.
The Browns are another team to watch. They've made some big moves in recent years, and they're always a threat. It's a tough, competitive, and this game between the Ravens and Steelers could have major implications for the balance of power.
It's also fascinating to consider how the individual matchups will play out. How will T.J. Watt, the Steelers' star pass rusher, try to disrupt Wilson?
Watt is one of the best defensive players in the league. He's a relentless force, and he'll be looking to make a statement against him. The Ravens' offensive line will have their hands full trying to protect Jeff.
And on the other side, how will the Steelers' secondary try to contain Mark Andrews, the Ravens' talented tight end?
Andrews is a matchup nightmare for defense. He's big, fast, and has great hands. The Steelers will likely try to double-team him or use a safety to help cover him.
There are so many intriguing storylines heading into this game. It's hard to predict who will come out on top. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a hard-fought battle.
These Ravens-Steelers games always are. There's so much history and bad blood between these two teams. The fans are passionate, the players are intense, and the atmosphere is electric.
It's what makes this rivalry one of the best in all of sports.
I'm excited to see how it all unfolds. This is a game that could have lasting implications for both teams.
We'll be breaking down all the key moments and analyzing the impact of this game for weeks to come.
It's a game that football fans won't soon forget.
Goodbye, and see you in the next video.